We're now joined by Brian Howell. He covers Colorado for the Daily-Camera in Boulder. He joins us now on 365 Sports. And Brian, thanks for your time. Can you try to put the barometer of the hype and the excitement after the opening win against TCU? It was already there. Where is it now?
It's high. I mean, this fan base is super excited, and that game was great. But they're excited to finally see this team in Boulder. It's been a long time since they've seen a good football game in Boulder, and I don't remember a home opener being this anticipated like this one is.
Brian, did you expect to see that kind of offense so quickly? We knew that, with Sean Lewis and what he did at Kent State, that's what the offense they were going to run. But the way it clicked was, through the passing game, was kind of really amazing to me.
No, I didn't expect to see it at that level. I thought they would look good offensively, but I didn't think they would look great like they did. They were pretty phenomenal, obviously, throughout most of that game. But we had heard of the weapons they had, but I've heard it before. I've heard a lot of seasons coming into the season that, man, we got all these great receivers, running backs, and then they can't score. So I wanted to see it on the field, and it was even better than I thought it was going to look.
Brian, what have they talked about this week in terms of, obviously there's so much attention and what a big win and all that, but there is, areas for improvement. For example, the running game on offense or, defensively. What was kind of the conversation, or is it just so excited right now that that's just sort of an afterthought, at least out publicly with the media?
Yeah, it's certainly not an afterthought, within the team, and during his press conference the other day, I asked Dion, what do you have to get better at? And he immediately said, we have to stop the run. And they were not good at stopping the run on Saturday against TCU. I don't remember how many rushing yards they had, but it was well over 200. They gave up 42 points, over 500. They've got to. So that's the number one thing, is they've got to stop people, or else they're not going to look like that every week.
And how much do they not only have to stop the run better, but also, even with all the numbers and the glitz and the glamour, the weapons they have, run the ball more consistently?
Yeah, they'd like to do that as well. And that's something that did not, click as much as they had hoped to on Saturday. And, a couple running backs they didn't use. Alton McCaskill, the Houston transfer, is not even healthy yet. Kavosier Smoak from Kentucky, he's going to get more involved this week. So they've got some weapons there, but they've got to open up more holes in that run game.
How long before we see more of Alton McCaskill?
Sounds like he's like a couple more weeks out, so maybe not until Pac-12 play.
Brian, what were your thoughts as you saw what Travis Hunter was able to accomplish last week, and anything in your experience to be able to try and compare it to?
Not really. To see somebody play both sides of the ball like that for the entire game and to play that great, I've never seen anything like that, especially at the college level. But, he's honestly, he might be the best corner and the best receiver I've ever covered at Colorado. He's that good, and we saw that on display the other day.
Brian Howell, again, the Boulder Daily-Camera with us. Colorado hosting Nebraska. Nebraska coming off what has been kind of who they are, not being able to hold a win late in the game and somehow throwing up on themselves. This is a rivalry that goes back a long way. They've played recently. Does Nebraska coming in for the home opener make this even more special?
Yeah, absolutely. Fans have been circling this game ever since it was scheduled several years ago. They hate Nebraska. And Carl Durrell could still be the head coach, and fans would be excited about this game because it's Nebraska. So you add in all the other elements with Coach Prime and what they did last week, and the intensity is just ratcheted up big time. And they're excited. They can't wait to beat Nebraska. They love beating Nebraska more than anybody else.
Yeah, I heard him mention it, like, yes, we hate Nebraska. And how long has it been since they last played? Before the series started again?
So they played 2018 in Lincoln and 2019 in Boulder. CU won both of those games, and then those were the only two times they've played since they both were in the Big 12 in 2010. So they played a couple times. CU's got both of them, and Buff fans like to remind them of that it's been there's memes out there. It's been like 4,000 and something days since Nebraska last beat Colorado, and CU fans would like to keep that going for sure.
Well, the first time they played after the long gap in 18, I think, was Scott Frost's first year, wasn't it? And they had the ball late and they couldn't get a first down. In Colorado, here they go. So it's kind of like that game was no different than the last 5 years for Nebraska football. Yeah. Was there a play? Yeah, go ahead.
I think it was his first game because the previous one, they were playing like Georgia Southern or something and got canceled because of lightning. And
That's
so
right.
It might have been his first game.
Last thing, Brian, and we appreciate your time today. Is there somebody other than what we saw with the receivers and obviously Shedeur Sanders? Was there a player that maybe stood out a little bit more than perhaps is getting attention because of all the explosive plays they made on offense?
Yeah, I think the guy that's not getting enough attention today is Jimmy Holland, who had 11 catches for him.
Yeah,
At Colorado, but because of what Dylan Edwards did and Travis Hunter and Shedeur, he hasn't been talked about a whole lot. But he was phenomenal the other day.
Brian, thanks for your time. Enjoy it. I know it'll be an incredible atmosphere. Fox will have their game day show there, and then of course the broadcast at 11 o'clock on Fox, Nebraska and Colorado. And what a week it's been for the Buffaloes after